Legendary, icon, Hall of Famer.
Hello, you're watching The Luna Show.
Welcome to the Luna Show. Welcome to the Luna Show.
Legendary. Luna. Luna. Luna.
The Luna Show.
Luna. Luna. Luna.
Welcome to the Luna Show.
You're watching The Luna Show.
Welcome to the Luna Show.
Hello, Durell. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, the last time that we sat down and had a conversation, it was like 4 years ago. And back then, you were Chanel, and now you're a Milan.
Yeah.
How is that going for you?
It's going good. I've been in Milan now for I think like 2, going on 3 years. Nadine and Iman had like kind of recruited me. Iman been wanted me to be in Milan. So I think the meeting was like myself, Tony, and Eric, and we were just like chatting at Applebee's, having drinks, and it just kind of went from there. So it's been going really, really good. I love the house.
Well, that's good. I remember in the last show that you talked about practicing your photography skills and doing makeup. What have you been doing these days? Are you...
Oh, that's been going amazing. I actually now just work for myself. Just recently, I decided to leave my job to pursue my dreams as a freelance artist. And actually have a meeting with the agency next week, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that goes well. And I just actually landed a cover 2 months ago with Naima from America's Next Top Model for Elegant magazine. So everything has been going really, really good. I'm really excited to keep going and just kind of keep seeing growth and just advancing myself. So,
as a makeup artist or a photographer?
Honestly, I enjoy doing both. Makeup to me, I like teaching makeup more, but I feel like I get more of a creative rush from photography, but they work hand in hand, and that's honestly how I got into it, learning one to improve the other. So it's a good marriage, it's a good union. So
Do you go to school for makeup?
no,
or-
I'm self-taught.
Oh, really? So do you suggest like when young people are interested in something to just jump in and do it, or should they go study? What do you feel about that?
Jump into it in what way? Because it can be tricky.
Well, if they're like good at something, should they? Well, obviously they should follow their dreams, and which is something that you did,
Right.
Because you don't always have to go to school for everything that you love
No,
to do.
and I know a lot of people that have gone to makeup school and they feel like they haven't learned anything to where I got my experience just working at various brands and, going from counter to counter and just learning different ways to approach like artistry. To me was the best school, but I can't speak from a school's perspective because I didn't go to school for it. So, I mean, it's whatever you feel is going to be comfortable, but I would say do a lot of research because makeup schools are really expensive. So you don't want to be $20,000 in a hole and walk away with $100 worth of knowledge. It's kind of backwards. So,
So how is your life different from the last 4 years?
that's a big gap.
I know.
How can I put it without getting too...
Well, what life experiences have you learned through that path?
Just focus, honestly.
Because a lot happens in 4 years.
A lot has happened in 4 years. Just focus and really, paying attention to your surroundings. My social circle has gotten really small because I've gotten so involved with work. And not that I did it on purpose, but it just kind of happened on its own. You have to kind of be around people that have the same hunger as you do, because if not, not that they're bad people, it's just bad weight, and you can never progress if you're dragging potatoes with you. No offense. But over the past 4 years, just honestly really digging deep and grabbing faith and just going out on a limb. And what's the worst thing people can say is no. I mean, we participate in a scene where we're constantly told no, we're constantly chopped, or you're not good enough. And that honestly with me has given me tough skin to walk into an agency and they say, oh, well, we don't like your book. And I say, okay. And then you come back 6 months later and you have tear sheets, you have magazine work, you have celebrity clients. And then it's like, oh, but she was serious, So you just kind of like, don't look at everything as being bad. Just kind of take everything as a learning experience, because there's lessons to be learned in everything you do in life. So
So you just mentioned having a portfolio and going around. Talk us through that. Like for an artist like yourself, if a young person is interested in stuff like that, what are the steps to kind of get to that
it's
level?
actually really easy. And one of my mentors, her name is Aletha Clayton. She's a hairstylist from Philadelphia. She had a seminar that I went to, and she was just basically teaching the ones and twos of the industry, like how to get agency signed models without like paying. You know, it's honestly, it's a business on both ends, and if you're not on point, you know, people aren't going to take you serious, because models, you know, they work for a living. That's who they are, so you can't come half-assed to an agency with, oh, my work is on Instagram or my work is on Facebook with 75 filters on your work, because that really pisses me off. You know, so just like learning how to develop a portfolio, what bookers want to see, the importance of a website, how to network yourself, a business pitch, you know, things of that nature. I all, you know, kind of learned from her, and it's been an uphill thing since. So I'm pretty satisfied with it, but it's only going to get better now that I just completely work for myself. So now all I have time to do is just research and work. So when I'm not like out with friends, I'm like always learning new things.
Well, that's great. That's actually a great message for young people.
It is.
So, and you're actually doing what you wanted to do, which is also a beautiful thing.
Which was a game plan for a long, long time.
So in terms of ballroom, what have you been doing in ballroom?
That's always a funny question, because people always say I'm not consistent enough. But with me personally, I don't care what people think, because my real life is put together for me not to be consistent in ballroom. I mean, when I first started walking balls in 2005, I was a teenager. You know, I was still living at home with mom and, you know, finishing up high school, so you didn't have to pay rent or, you know, bills and all of those things that come with being an adult. So now it's just picking and choosing. I'm at a point where I'm a little bit more of the exclusive club, so I don't want people to know when I'm going to come out. I just want to come out and they be like, oh my God, he's back. You know, that excitement, that rush, I feel like ballroom needs again. So I'm picking and choosing wisely, honestly. Picking and choosing wisely.
Have you ever considered doing other categories too, or is
anybody that knows me personally, I have a huge obsession with New Wave. Like, that is one of my, I adore that category so much. And there's not a lot of black people that walk New Wave, so keep your eyes out for that. Time soon, though.
I think Derek Extravaganza said
well,
that.
yeah, Derek and Stanley, like, I've been kind of chit-chatting with them about it, but no time soon. I'm still very stiff. And, you know, people that know me personally, I do Vogue, but I just don't like what Vogue has kind of evolved to now. I miss the storytelling in it, so I'm not going to be spinning in 360 and missing dips and breaking my nose and things of that nature.
Well, ballroom is different from even 5 years ago.
Yeah.
What do you think is needed today in terms of ballroom? Like,
what is needed? And it's funny that you say this, because me and Dominique and Jason were just having this conversation, in particular with Runway. The shade. People don't know how to just be shady and still be competitive without getting personal, getting their tempers involved. You know, when we were walking against one another, we couldn't stand each other when we were on the floor, but outside of ballroom, we're the best of friends. I've always looked at ballroom as like the wrestling entertainment business. Like, when Shawn Michaels would come out, or like Stone Cold, like the crowd would just go wild. But like when he's going against his rivals, it's just business. But when they're off the floor, you know, they're the best of friends, they train together, etc., etc. So I really think people need to learn the art of being competitive. A lot of the younger kids need to learn how to read, because they're so quick to fight now. Like, my mouth has got me out of many situations, and it's going to continue to keep me out of many situations. But just, you know, ballroom is supposed to be that fun, that flair that I've seen in like Paris is Burning, where the girls just read and read and read. And if she got you at one ball, you came back and got it at another ball. You know, it was just a tit for tat type thing. They don't know how to do that anymore, and we kind of live in a world. Well, I feel like my generation is like the Generation X, because we're like the start of like the whole social media thing. So what they don't do at balls, they take the social media to kind of get followers and fans, and it's like, girl, if she got you, just deal with it. Just how many balls a year?
So from your perspective, what is wrong about ballroom today compared to when you were, which in a way you kind of touched on, but
what's wrong? I feel old.
What's wrong about ballroom for you?
For me, I would say reasons why I don't walk anymore. Well, not as much, because I have walked recently. What's wrong? Runway's kind of boring now. Like, when I walked, like, we had to go against like the names, like the people that evolved the category. You know, the Ricky Mizrahis, Ray Ray, Mariah. Like, these people were like constantly walking. So if you were prepared to walk and you saw one of them in the back, it's like, oh bitch, here we go. Now it's just like your regular, no offense, you're Joe Schmoes. Like, it's all of the new kids battling each other. Like, they're all friends. They're not battling people who have evolved the category. So the excitement of like battling someone that you looked up to, I think is kind of missing. But now I think the tables have also turned because now I'm one of the people look up to. So it's a little bit different. And then like balls not ending, runway is too expensive for for that. And it's happened to me one time since 2005, and I was a little pissed off about it. But that has to stop. The boring runway categories, like come on, like runway.
Oh, but are categories boring, or is it that people just don't know how to be creative enough?
It's a mixture of both. I find like a lot of the balls are a little repetitive in how they want us to bring it, and then I'll just speak for my category. People are losing what runway is. I mean, granted, it's nice to see a big and elaborate effect, but if you want to go big, walk bizarre, walk designer's delight. You know, we have to walk against each other. We have to spin. We have to pivot. We have to do all of these things. And it's like now people are paying more attention to the elaborateness, but not the art of walking, which is annoying.
All the footwork and all
Yeah,
that.
like
and
it's just work, which I'll be tired.
So what, for you and your perspective, what is right about Ballroom today?
What is right? I'm starting to see a little bit more unity. Not to say that there wasn't before, but like I used to always hear stories about like how people would be in different houses, but like would work together to like get effects and, you know, just kind of be more peers. I'm starting to see that a lot more, which I think is good. And then I wouldn't say the publicity from it, but the way an aspect in which ballroom is not being mainstream, but just kind of spread out. Like we're not so much underground anymore. Like a lot of people know about voguing and runway and face and things of that nature. And even when it comes to like transgender women and, you know, the things that they're dealing with as far as like fighting for their rights, which I totally support, you know, it's really hitting home to a lot of people. And we're starting to really, I wouldn't say change the world, but change the way they look at people that are LGBTQ.
And you mentioned, you know, being known around the world and all of that, but people always think ballroom is voguing, and they don't pay attention to categories like the face categories, the fashion categories, the runway categories. How do you feel about that the world is watching the voguing but not really getting into the other arts of ballroom?
It's annoying because I know for a fact.
Because when people learn that you're in ballroom, do they ask you, "Oh, you Vogue" and stuff like that?
That's one of the first questions. Or, "Oh, you got good skin, you walk face." I'm like, no. It's annoying because, like I said before, and I've always will say, runway is a very meticulous category to where Vogue and they're dancing, you know, so to speak, where maybe that might be more entertaining to some people and they don't pay attention to other things, but like face is a very exciting category, old way, new way. Like there's so many other things other than Vogue Femme that people should pay attention to. So it's a little frustrating, but they're only attracted to what they're being taught. You know, so I think if we were to do a little bit more teaching, like outreach on ballroom and like the history of categories, things would be a little bit different.
So this year, 2014, at the Latex Ball, you'll be getting the Ross Infinity Award. How does that feel for you?
I was really shocked when you told me that I was getting that award, because Ross is someone that I used to watch like when I used to go to the clubhouse in Harlem, and I would never in a million years think in any way or aspect that I would be compared to someone like him, especially on his caliber. And I've never walked for like accolades or like recognition or social climb, as the term is now, to be kind of accepted. And a lot of people still don't know about me as long as I've been out. So it's a very humbling experience, because Ross has definitely evolved bizarre and ballroom to the plateau to where it is now. He's definitely one of those people. And to have, you know, an award in his name, I was just like, oh, wow. It was very, very, very touching. Because like I said, I don't do the work for people to be like, yes, Miss Thing, I live. Like, I just do it because this community is so big. And I feel like with younger generations now, with me being older, they need to see success stories. You know, they're so used to seeing the negative stuff. They don't really see the positive things that come out of ballroom. So we need to, as a whole, focus more on that.
Well, for years, you've done a lot of stuff outside of ballroom in terms of like community service, community work, using your image to help, you know, create a campaign. What is that? What gives you that drive to want to do that and help your community?
That's a good question. We come from like a background where we're just so discriminated against. A lot of younger kids don't have hope, you know, so if I can be that face of hope for them to want to inspire to, you know, be that model or that doctor or whatever it is that they want to be, why not? Like, what is the worst that somebody can tell you? No. You know, and I've learned that over many, many years of my life. The worst thing somebody can tell you is no, but honestly, all it takes is one yes. And if they learn to like really fight for what they want, you can get it. You just have to be really, really consistent.
Right.
Really, really consistent.
So, what should we be looking out for with Durell?
Oh, Luna.
Like, what are you working on?
I'm not gonna walk the latex ball because there's some other projects that are coming up. I really wanted to, but my schedule is just not allowing it. I'm here. I will be out and about. Runway has to be elevated a little bit more before this year ends. There's some new people who live in New York, and the girls are just getting life. And not to say I don't see it, but it's like, girl, you in my stomping grounds. Relax a little bit. So yeah, I'll be making some more appearances.
Well, that's good. And last question. So, Ballroom is. Do you feel that the way the Kiki scene is coming up? Because I know you've dabbled in Kiki scene stuff too in the past. Do you think that that's in a way kind of shaping into becoming what Ballroom is, or I mean, where do you see the direction of that? Because it almost seems like Kikis are a little bit more exciting in terms of energy.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that? Like,
that's a really good question. It's a thing that I hold like dear to my heart because when I was 16, 17, that was the ballroom I had first. Like, I was one of those people of like 20 or 15 of us that really started it from like HMI and helped it evolve to what it is now. There's a lot more excitement because they just do it for the fun. You know, they're not doing it for the accolades and they're not doing it for the deeming. Well, some of them are. But I don't know. I just feel like when you're young, you're a little bit more open to being a risk taker, to where when we get older, we're a little bit more content and just kind of playing safe, where these kids are just doing any and everything, ballroom wise. And then there are like a lot of problems that I also see within the Kiki scene and ballroom in general that I feel like people and adults need to address and things of that nature. But excitement wise, yeah, it is a little bit more exciting than mainstream. Like, I've been to a few mainstream balls and even watch clips now, and it's almost like presentations. Like, everybody's just standing there and they're like, bitch, she voguing down, and y'all just like, are y'all that high that y'all don't have like adrenaline anymore? Like, it's awkward.
you
So
mean the real scene?
yeah, in the real scene, like, I've been at balls where like even people, their house members would be out and they're not chanting. Like, I've left plenty of balls like no voice when I was Chanel, and even now as a Milan, like, where I don't have a voice because Milan is on the floor. Like, it's the family support. Like, it's kind of lackluster to where you go to a Kiki ball, your eardrums might bust because they are loud and they're, you know, they want to let you know they're present.
Well, I know that Jack Mizrahi said once, there's nothing Kiki about the Kiki scene. And in a way, that's true, right?
In a way, it is true because they're very serious. I mean, a lot of them, I don't even think a lot of them want to even want to transition into mainstream because they're so comfortable and content with, you know, being in the Kiki scene. And we have like rules on like how people get deemed, and like a bulletin that we follow is like icons. I'm one of the icons in the scene, to where like it's strict curriculum in order for you to meet these requirements. So they're very focused on just getting out there and just doing what they need to do. It's still a Kiki, but it's not as of a Kiki as it was before. Like, categories a little bit more serious, the girls a little bit more developed in their art form, and it's good to see them be that polished at that age. Because when we were doing it, a Kiki ball was us, a pair of jeans, a graphic t-shirt, and some gloves, and that was your Vogue Femme effect. To where now it's like, bitch, cat suits, glitter, masks, like, it's a lot. It's definitely changed.
All right. Well, thank you for giving us an update of your life,
you.
and so thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
All right, baby.